Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a Stihl MS250C chainsaw. It doesn't run right. I've rebuilt the carburetor, cleaned it, it still bogs down. And what's causing this issue is a bad carburetor. I'm going to start it up so you can see the symptoms. It just bogs down, and then I'm going to show you how to actually replace the carburetor. And here's the saw. It's the one with the easy start. That's why you see a bigger recoil over here. Now, in addition to cleaning the carb and replacing the carb kit, I've also turned out the L and H screws on the carb, and it made no difference. And overall, this saw is in pretty good shape. It's been sitting for quite a few years with bad fuel in it, and that's what's caused the issue. Now, if you prefer, you may want to drain the fuel from the saw before you start this repair. So I'm going to get right into the repair. First of all, you want to remove the cover here. Push the trigger, put the choke down to get the cover off. I'm going to release the choke. Next, I'm going to use an 8mm nut driver. You need to remove the two nuts back here. And now you've got the carburetor right off the saw. And today I'll be installing a Stihl OEM carburetor for this chainsaw. And here's the part number for it, 1123-120-0620. And by the way, this is a Zama carburetor. And when you get a new carburetor, you want to compare it to the old one to make sure it's identical. Now, to install the carburetor in your chainsaw, you want to line it up exactly like this. And what I do is I pull the fuel line out to that side, get the carburetor on the studs here, and now connect your fuel line. Grab some needle nose pliers, but be very careful. You don't want to damage the fuel line. Reach down, connect it on the connector here. And now you want to connect the primer line on the other connector of the carb on top here. And now reinstall the choke linkage. Get it into the hole at the bottom there. Lift up the mechanism like this. Just push it in and release. And this is the position that the throttle linkage will line up on the chainsaw. And what you want to do is reach in and get it into the throttle mechanism on the carb. So once you reach down inside there, you want to line up that little hook here at the end of the linkage just like this into the carb. I'm just showing you so you have an idea what you're doing. It is a bit more difficult to see it from down here. So just reach down inside here, right into the hole. And there it is. And now just push on the throttle trigger. Get the linkage right in here and push down on it. Once you hear it click, it's in there permanently. It's nice and tight. Now you want to get the tank vent here all lined up properly with this rubber. If this comes off, it just goes on like this. And now you want to get that on the screws. And then just push it in here. Now, before you put the air breather assembly, just check everything to make sure it's on properly. First, I'm going to check the throttle. It's working good. Hold the carb, check the choke. That's good too. And this is nice and properly installed on top of the screws. Same with the idle screw down here. And the primer hose here as well is installed correctly. So at this point here, you can install the air breather assembly right on the studs. And I'll just install the two nuts here. Now I don't have the exact torque specs for these nuts, but just use common sense. They have to be fairly tight. Just don't overdo it, and put them on evenly. And I'll just reinstall the top cover here. Just put the choke on so it goes in nice and easy. And then lock it up. So at this point the repair is complete. I'm just going to start it up and make sure it runs good. Now just a quick note before I start the saw up, I did not adjust any of the screws on the carburetor. Basically it's just a brand new carb out of the box, installed on the saw, and usually they work perfectly just the way they are. Now if you do use aftermarket carburetors, sometimes you do have to adjust those carburetors after the repair. So you can see there with the carb right out of the box, brand new from Stihl, there's no issues. I did not have to adjust anything on it. In most cases I do prefer using Stihl OEM carburetors on these chainsaws, especially if they are for customers. If I do use aftermarket carburetors, I do let the customers know about it. And from my experience, when I put in aftermarket carburetors, usually I do have to do some tweaking on them as well. So that's all there is to replacing the carburetor on your Stihl MS250C chainsaw. Make sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and have yourselves a great day.